Hi, I'm Zoe. I'm one of the ambassadors at Winston's Wish. We came to find Winston's Wish when my mum was looking to raise some money for kids like us who had lost a parent, and we lost my dad in 2000 when I was about 2 years old to a plane crash. So obviously very shocking at the time, but didn't really understand what it meant to have lost someone and to be grieving. And it wasn't until a few years later, I was about 8 years old, we met up with some Winston's Wish bereavement support workers, and I realised I just needed that help. We used to create memory boxes of all the favourite things that my dad used to do and have. So we have like pilot badges, watches, various other exciting things in there that we can just go to. And in our memory box as well, we used to create sand jars that would be a different colour of sand corresponding to a different activity that they loved to do. My life would have been completely different had I not received support from Winston's Wish. I have received support when I was 8, but I always knew that I could go back to them right up until I was 25 if I wanted to. Winston's Wish gave me the confidence to tell my story without feeling shameful. I think there's so much grief around grief, ironically, and talking about death is not something that most people feel comfortable doing, but I know that I can tell my story without feeling any sort of shame or embarrassment, because it's my truth and it's all about like talking about my dad like anyone else would. So they definitely gave me the tools to cope with my grief, and although grief would live with me, wasn't dominating what I did and how I felt. It is fundamental for Winston's Wish to keep doing the important work that they do. Death is such a confusing concept for children, and it's difficult to get your head around it at any age, let alone when you're not fully developed, not fully understanding what's going on. And sometimes it can affect you years later, like it did me. My dad died in 2000 when I was 2, and then 6-7 years later, and I was about 8 or 9, that was when I received support from Winston's Wish. So it's a very confusing time for a child, and that's when Winston's Wish can step in and support. I don't know who I'd be without the support of Winston's Wish. Please support children who have lost their loved ones and allow them to receive the tools they need to manage grief throughout their lives. You can make these life-changing conversations possible. Visit winstonswish.org/one-conversation to donate, and make sure that Winston's Wish is there to support grieving children now and in the future. Thank you.